expertise, and I told him, and he appreciated it. We have to do our due diligence.
Of course. It's really, and it's a policy decision, so we've laid it out and the board's willing to take that risk.
No, we had to step back, and I'm glad we did. I did feel much better.
I think it's going to be quick.
Are we ready, right? Welcome, everybody, to the regular meeting for the Board of Trustees for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Is there a motion to open tonight's meeting? Trustee Rosen-Asher, second. Trustee Galen, all in favor? Meeting is hereby open. I just want to note for the record that Trustees Sullivan and Rosenberg will not be here, and they are excused. Can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Tonight, I wanted to open with a presentation that's very bittersweet. We know that the longtime head chair of the planning board, Stephen Hunter, has resigned, and he's here tonight, and I have a special proclamation for him, and we just want to express our gratitude and our thanks for everything that you've done, all the amount of time, energy, and effort that you've donated to the village. We really appreciate it. So if you want to meet me at the microphone, I just want to read this for you. It's fine? Fine. I just want everyone to see, and I'll read part of it. It says, whereas from 1986 to 2024, Stephen Hunter devoted himself as a regular member of the Village of Dobbs-Ferry Planning Board and served as chair of the Planning Board from 2015 to 2024. Be it resolved that on behalf of the Village of Dobbs-Ferry and the citizens of the Village of Dobbs-Ferry, we recognize his outstanding contributions and accomplishments and thank him for his distinguished volunteer service to the Village of Dobbs-Ferry. And be it further resolved that through the authority of my office, I do hereby proclaim Wednesday, September 25th, as Stephen K. Hunter Day in the Village of Dobbs-Ferry. So thank you very much. We appreciate everything that you've done. You're in the middle. You're the man with the
Make it official. There you go. Great. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Well, I want to do the appointment, so you want to hang out to the appointment?
Yeah, sure.
All right, give me 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
But first, I have a presentation that was not on the agenda, and this is for our village clerk, Liz Draper. So, Liz, I don't know if you want to meet me at the microphone, but I have a lot of weight here to carry. What would we do without Liz? So Liz has been the village clerk. She's has all the history, all the knowledge of the village. We go to her when we're not sure what's happened in the last, how many years? Say it. So what I have here is actually, it's a statement that in the Association of City and Village Clerks, the title of Registered Municipal Clerk has been laid on Elizabeth Draper, who has completed the requirements prescribed by the New York State Association of City and Village Clerks for certification. This is her certification and her plaque, so thank you for that. This is from NICOM, which is the New York State Conference of Mayors, which says that Elizabeth Draper has certified and she's completed 15 fall training schools, and this is 15 is a lot to do, and she's made it, so this is a very important one. And the big one is that the New York State Association of City and Village Clerks has presented its president's plaque to their president, Elizabeth Draper, Village Clerk, Village of Dobbs Ferry, in recognition of her extraordinary service and contributions to the New York State Association of City and Village Clerks through her leadership on the Executive Committee, December 2021 through September 17th, 2024. So congratulations.
Okay, I just wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity to continue to serve as your clerk. Look forward to many, many more years. Well, a couple more anyway. But thank you all so much, and for the opportunity to continue training and serving the residents of this village. Thank you.
She can't even hold them all. She can't even hold them all.
Hey Liz, you're gonna need a bigger office to hang all that.
Congratulations.
Moving to appointments, we have obviously a vacancy now that Steve Hunter is resigned. So is there a motion to appoint Alan Hale as the permanent chairperson of the planning board and appoint Peter Winder as the regular member of the planning board? Trustee Patino, second trustee Taylor, all in favor? That passes unanimously. So we want to thank both Alan and Peter for stepping up and volunteering. Alan, do you want to come up and say anything at all, or?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you. Just want to thank you, Alan, and good luck. Wait, don't go anywhere, Alan. Alan,
Alan.
don't go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
You want to raise your right hand?
And we have to announce the
You solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, carry out the duties of permanent chairperson of the Planning Board of the Village of Dobbsbury to the best of your ability.
I do.
Now it's yours officially.
Alan, I need you to send the oath book.
You gotta sign your.
But wait, there's more.
That's in blood. Is Peter here? I don't know
You
if Peter's
actually
here.
have to sign it for the previous one. And sign it tonight. And all right, thank you. Yep.
Now you can go. Thank you. Before we go any further, we're going to adjourn to an advice of council meeting to discuss personnel issues. Is there a motion to adjourn to the advice of council meeting? Trustee Rosen Asher, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor. We will be back as soon as possible. Thank you. Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Patino, all in favor. We're now back in regular session. Next item is the public hearing. So now I need a motion to open the public hearing. Is there a motion? Trustee Galen, second. Trustee Patino, all in favor. This public hearing is now open. This public hearing is concerning the past prohibition that we had against the discharge of weapons in the village. We had spoken about deer management, what can be done to manage the deer in Dobbs Ferry. Some villages have put up fences, some villages have tried to sterilize the deer. Some villages now are trying to be more active in culling the deer in their village by having someone hire a hunter to do so. So we've talked about that, and one of the first impediments to moving forward with hunting is to change our law about that. So we do have a proposed law to open it up a little bit. Lorelei, do you want to shed any more light on this?
Yes, this specifically just carves out an exemption for bow hunters who are specifically retained in a relationship sense by the village to implement a deer management program. And that will be organized in furtherance of the public need to protect the forestry and the woodlands on public lands. So it specifically just carves an exemption out having to do with bow hunters, because bow hunting is the only hunting that's permitted in the county of Westchester, and that it would require a deer management program to be organized by the village. So the village would set forth the locations and the times and et cetera, et cetera. So it would be limited to properties and times to be designated by resolution of the board.
Okay.
And we took the opportunity to just, because there was vagueness, we took the opportunity. I spoke with Chief Rivera, and we decided to incorporate a firearm, because the discharge of firearms is what is actually prohibited in the village currently in your law. So we just defined firearms, and then there was a provision there that said you can carve out for educational purposes and the firing at parades and honors. And so we just put a process in whereby the village would be informed that there would be a discharge of a firearm in that way.
Okay. Any comments by the board?
I personally am bothered by the use of discharging weapons. I'm glad that you've explained that it only applies to bow hunting, and this is something we had a very animated discussion about in a workshop, and I would only be okay with it if it was a professional company that was coming in to do this and not volunteers.
But at this time, this law is only pertaining
Yeah.
to allowing someone to do that. Exactly.
You said if there was any comments.
Yes. This would be in furtherance of a deer management program, which would be officially organized and determined.
Okay.
Yes, and specifically it says retained, because it presupposes there needs to be a relationship between the village and the individual who's being authorized.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I think just for context for everyone, because I don't know that we've discussed this in the regular meeting, but we have a significant deer overpopulation. They are unfortunately destroying the forests around Dobbs Ferry. Surrounding municipalities have tried to do deer management approaches that have not been as effective as bow hunting. Bow hunting is an evidence-based approach to reducing the deer population. It will be it's not a one-time thing. It's something that's going to happen over and over and over again. We are proposing this because we felt it was kind of the safest, most restricted approach to doing it. And one issue, if you don't deal with the deer, and all the surrounding municipalities do, which they are, then guess where all those deer who don't want to hang out in Irvington and Hastings and Ardsley go? They come to us. So this is part of sort of a comprehensive approach that's being taken across our area, and that's why we're addressing it, and that's why we wanted to make this change to the local law. So that's the context.
Okay. Does anybody in the public want to talk about this law at all? Okay.
I have use the microphone over here.
Yeah, sure.
Daniel Burgess. I'm a member of the CAB, the Conservation Advisory Board. The Conservation Advisory Board has been discussing this issue as well for quite a while, and we'd like to thank the board for taking this important effort up and for educating yourself about the issue. And as you know, the Conservation Advisory Board is recommending on environmental issues. And as it was said, it's the woods are in dire straits, and we really know this from Hastings and Irvington, who have done studies for years and had experts tell them you have to do something to protect your woods. You know by my accent, I'm not from here. I was born in Germany. When I go back, I go to the woods there, and the difference is just astounding. Like, there is regular deer hunting there's undergrowth. And if, it's like, when you go to the Jurgen Nature Preserve, you see there's, hardly any undergrowth. So by not having that, the tree's are gonna die, and then there are not gonna be not enough new trees growing, and that's just part of it. Seed banks there, and I'm very grateful to all the work that's been done in Irvington. Anyone who wants to learn more, the Irvington Green website have a slideshow and all the data they have been doing, gathering data for a number of years, and modeling it on other municipalities and nature preserves in Westchester County. So a deer management program seems to be the way to go. I was attending a meeting of conservation advisory boards of different villages on Sunday. And in Hastings, for example, they tried the fence, which is so much more expensive. And they have, trees falling on the fence, deers go back in the area. So this definitely seems to be the way to go. It's like, I'm, personally also concerned, and, I hear, we had a young woman from high school join our last CAB meeting who was like, we don't want, please do something where you don't have to kill the deer. But, the issue is really like, we need to have a sustainable population so that, the deer can live, but in a way that they don't destroy other aspects of nature. And there's a real decline of other species because the deer the many deer are just destroying it. So, if there was another way, but it just needs to be managed. It's not about killing all the deer, it's just having them at a sustainable level. So thank you for doing this, and the CAB is also supporting a way of doing it in a real good deer management program with a professional bow hunter. And Graham, you're gonna go a little bit further into that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Graham Knoll, 21 Summit Terrace. Also a member of the CAB with Daniel. And just to echo what he had to say, thank you very much for addressing this very important issue. Science has clearly shown the deer are a problem, and the most effective way to manage them at this point is by hunting and reducing the size of the herd. However, as I think this village knows, and as Irvington found out many years ago when they tried to address this problem, it can be a very contentious issue for the public. I think we have a real opportunity with your efforts now to do something about the issue. Other villages are taking steps. I think we need to come up with a way to put this program into practice that will preserve that public goodwill and support. And I think this board has talked about a number of different options for how to implement a bow hunting program. And to Trustee Asher's point, I think we on the CAB feel very strongly that the right way to do it is via a professional bow hunting organization that's brought in, that's bonded and insured to protect the village in the event of any liability or, God forbid, some incident. Trustee Patino, I know you made the cost argument about taking a different approach. I think that's a bit short-sighted. If there, again, God forbid, if there were ever to be an incident related to a volunteer bow hunting in the woods, I think whatever cost savings you're hoping to achieve would be wiped out in an instant. So, for us, the advantages of a professional approach, both, it being consistent with what Irvington's doing, and they studied this for years as to the best way to accomplish this. The board would have control over timing and place when the hunts occur, allowing for greater public notice, increasing safety, reducing risk. There's a limited number of participants and sessions at known times with professional tracking and follow-up, and being able to actually locate herds and time it so you have maximum effect. And most importantly, like I said, they could be bonded and insured to protect the village in the case of potential liability. So that is our, strong recommendation. Again, we're grateful to see you guys taking steps to address this issue, but there's a right way to do it, and there's a way to that I think jeopardizes the goodwill that the public may now have for this issue. So in terms of the proposed amendment to the village code, I understood the council's position, and I think it's the right way to draft it. Our recommendation would be to add some further specificity as to what kind of bow hunter could be retained. I would suggest professional, bonded, insured bow hunter at the discretion of the board. And I think that's about all we have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'd just like to clarify something. It's a misrepresentation of my position. I was not arguing on behalf of allowing hunting simply for the sake of saving the village money. That is a kind of side benefit. My position is that bow hunters in general show a tremendous amount of caution, restraint, and this is a thing that could be done through volunteers, members of the community that bow hunt. And I think it'd be perfectly safe to do it that way. I just didn't see the need for a professional service. So it's really not about the money. That's just a benefit. Not hiring a company to do it.
All right, that will be the next step if we go that way. And any other comments about this particular change in the law? Is there anybody online? No. Okay, any other comments from the board? Okay, having heard no further comments, is there a motion to close tonight's public hearing? Trustee Taylor, second trustee Patino, all in favor. The public hearing is now closed, and we can move on to action item. I'm obviously in favor of this way it's drafted, so I'll make the motion, and we can go from there. Is there a motion to adopt a local law amending chapter 296, providing an exception to the prohibition against the discharge of weapons in the village for the purpose of implementing a program for deer management? Trustee Taylor, second trustee Patino, all in favor.
I would just really want it added that it's just bows and arrows.
what?
I really would like,
That's what the
said
law
a little
says.
more specificity that it's just bows and arrows.
That's what the law says.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, then I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
So it passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is courtesy of the floor. Who would like to speak? Sure, come up, Patty.
First, I want to remind everybody that the Festa is in 2 Saturdays.
Really?
So if you haven't signed up yet, you better hurry. But the main reason I'm here
What's
is.
your name?
Patty Steinschneider, resident of Dobbs Ferry, principal of Gotham Design, member of the Sustainability Task Force. We're talking still about Washington Avenue and the idea of sidewalks with nothing to do with trying to stop what you're going ahead with the funding and all that. We understand how important that is and tied in with Walgrove, which I think is totally important to do. But we are hoping that we can have the chance to sit down and have some discussion, because we have, as a group, kind of put together some ideas that I think would work quite easily, where you could have a sidewalk, not lose the trees, and have safety and wonderment for everyone, improve the access of deer to the woods. Just joking. Sorry about that. I'm so glad you're doing that. I've been, it's really important to cull the deer. It's really important to restore the woods. It's really devastating when you walk around and you understand that there is no understory. So I'll just joke about the deer. But we are really serious about wanting to do something about the sidewalk and how that all works. And one of the things I'm hoping is that if we're going to go ahead and do a sidewalk there, we would also be talking of making it really a sidewalk that's worth having, which is to make sure that we're also looking to make connections up Belden, so that you'd be able to actually use that to get from one point to the other and get to the high school and things like that on sidewalks. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Come on up. You're only allowed 3 visits a night, so this is number 2.
Daniel Burgess. I'm talking as a private citizen, 52 Luzerne Road. I'm just in support of keeping the trees there, and I'm also in support of a sidewalk. My kids walk to school there, and I think a lot of kids walking to school from the Knoll neighborhood. Sidewalks are great, but trees are also really important. The village is working on redoing the vision plan with climate smart communities, and trees are really important for, the tree canopy is really important, all trees like that. So I am excited that there are proposals for a compromise to do both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yair Rosenkranz, 120 Belden. Echoing what was just said, I think we have come up with alternatives. We measure, I probe the area. There are ways that we can save the trees, have the sidewalk, and pedestrian safety. All we need is just to be a little open-minded and review the options, give them a chance, and if it doesn't work, just go ahead and cut the trees. It will be sad, but it is what it is. Just consideration of alternatives, that's all. Thank you. Okay.
Roxana Klein, 120 Belden Avenue as well. I just want to basically reiterate a little bit of what they've said. And I know there's been so much discussion about these trees and the need for a sidewalk, but the fact that we have really presented all of the big concerns on removing these trees, there are real concerns, particularly with water management and what that could entail for those 4 houses. The removal of 6 or 7 perfectly healthy 75-year-old trees that absorb an enormous amount of water, which will, the combination of the removal of those trees with the added impervious surface could potentially bring a very, very serious problem to those houses along Washington Avenue, in addition to the houses below us on Pietro Place. We have brought this up time and again. And I just want to reiterate how important it is for everybody to take this seriously, because this isn't just we're making this up or we're just exaggerating. This is a real problem, and we happen to know a little bit about water management. We're part of us are architects. We really have brought this up, and I hope it's being taken seriously. As I understand, it was voted for on the last session, but I think this needs to be reevaluated, and everybody needs to be open to amending this part of the sidewalk project. I think it's really important. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so I know in the past we have, I think trustee Patino's met with a group and tried to work something out, and I think we're open to certainly seeing the best plans available. So I know the board voted on it last time, and whatever the next step has to be, they should meet with the appropriate stakeholders, and we can review the plans and come up with a plan, if possible, that accommodates all.
So I want to just add some, oh, go ahead.
I have a question about the grant, about the money. So we know that we had to apply the money to the two projects, but do the projects have to be exactly what was submitted? You know, so if we can do something where we could find a compromise, where we could move the trees or build a sidewalk a different way, would that still entail the work that we said we needed to do for the grant?
Yeah, when I checked with Dasney, who was the author of the grants, they got back to me, they said it's a change of scope, and there's an option that may actually cancel the grant completely. If the question is changing the actual look of the sidewalk,
Right.
I can ask that pointed question.
Right, so I'm saying if we're not saying we're not doing it, but we're just saying, let's say the sidewalk was gonna be here and now it's here.
I don't think they reviewed our plan, so they wouldn't know, but I'd still rather, you know, get the,
Yeah, I just
Not
get
a
ahead of
point
it.
person, so-
So to that point, this is
Right.
a really important point, because I have talked to some people in the neighborhood, not in the neighborhood also, who are looking at this. There seems to be a workable alternative that allows the sidewalk to be built in a slightly different location,
Right.
but still have a sidewalk.
Okay.
Maybe some of the design of it has to change a little bit, but like you say, it's like, you know, the original plan
Right,
is
or
here,
if it's
the other
like
plan is
painted blue
here.
instead of red. like-
Yes, so
because
the real
I
question-
remember our initial discussions about this, we discussed a lot about those trees, and we wanted to, you know, we said we wanted to do it if we could move the trees or save the trees or find a way. So I'm happy that there are some alternatives now. And I think as long as we can just kind of make it, you know, a design decision, but not a scope decision.
Yeah, because our first question was sort of clumsy. It was like,
Right.
can we just take this out?
Yeah.
And they said, no.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
But, so I think if maybe we
Finesse
can
it.
look at what the alternative is and just, you know, sort of phrase the question to them in the right sort of way, so that we can ideally get the
Finesse.
right kind of answer.
Understood.
So I can call you tomorrow and we can talk about it?
Yes, of course.
So trustee Patino, can I make you the point person on this, as with the board?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so
Excuse me.
trustee Patino will work on it with you guys, and we can come up with a design. Okay, thank you. Anybody else for courtesy of the floor? Okay, let's get to some action items.
Yay.
Action item number 1 is to consider a resolution accepting the resignation of Barbara Marcello as office assistant. We have a letter from her where she has offered her resignation. So is there a motion to accept the resignation of Barbara Marcello as office assistant effective as of August 23rd, 2024? Trustee Galen, second trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor? That passes unanimously. Action item number 2, consider a resolution using use of grant funding for DPW solar roof project. We discussed this in the workshop.
There's a late arriving resolution just to provide the alternatives to consider with procurement.
So this resolution that I have in my hand? Okay. So the question is whether or not we had to put this out to bid or do a change order with the contract that we've had with Honeywell We already have an existing energy performance contract with Honeywell, and the thought was it would be faster, and we would get a better contract, a better deal, for lack of a better word, if we stay with Honeywell. And they're already familiar with us, and it's a simple change order. Our attorney has reviewed it, consultation with NICOM, and not to put words in your mouth, Laura Lee, but you are satisfied that we can do this via a change order, correct?
We're going to address the change order at your next meeting. This resolution before you just says that you are authorizing to proceed to the procurement necessary to start the project.
Okay.
And I want to personally thank Jeff, too. He did a lot of this research, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to authorize the commencement of procurement measures for use of grant funding to complete direct-to-grid solar installation at the DPW facility? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Patino, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Laura Lee. Action item number 3 is to consider a resolution awarding a bid for refuse and recycling receptacles to cleaning systems of Mount Vernon. So we had been presented with a proposal for uniform garbage bins, recycling bins, and we put this out to bid, and we've gotten 3 responsible bidders. The one that we're choosing is not the lowest bidder, so can we explain that?
I worked with Jen on this. I think Jen is here. I'm sorry, my eyes are bad tonight, so there, Jen. We talked it through, and 2 of the other matters were not responsive to the spec, the actual spec. One, for example, did not have a removable container, which was part of the spec, and one did not have a door, which meant that our guys would have to lift. And we specifically asked in the spec for the door, so we had to award to the remaining bidder who actually responded to the spec exactly.
Okay, so that explains it.
So you only got 1 qualified bid.
So we got 1 responsive. The others had to be dismissed.
Okay, so we're going to put this out to bid, we're going to make this decision regarding 25 sets of recycling and garbage receptacles. So in the downtown areas of Main Street, Cedar Street, and Ashford Avenue, 25 cans. So is there a motion to accept the bid for the refuse and recycling receptacles and to award the bid to cleaning systems of Mount Vernon in the amount of $50,025? Trustee Galen, second. Trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Do we have any idea, you may not even know, when would?
4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, great.
And this was an idea that came from the downtown committee, and they were the ones who put the work in to map out where they could go and worked really hard with Jen and with Steve to come to a set of recommendations for the board. So just emphasizing the important work of volunteers in shepherding this through in partnership with the team. So thank you so much.
I also think the beautification committee was involved,
committee.
and I think Sustainable Dobbs was involved. So yeah, it was a whole volunteer,
It's made a whole bunch of people happy.
yes. So, thank you for all the volunteers for that. Action item number 4 is to consider a resolution to award the bid for arborist services, tree removal, pruning, and steep grinding. It's always not even 9 o'clock yet, and I'm already mispronouncing. Stump grinding to all Olmsted tree, shrub, and lawn care. So the amount would be, the total amount, well, it's $3,296 for 1 unit with a bucket truck, the same amount for 1 unit without a bucket truck and 3 workers, and $4,384 for 1 unit without a bucket truck and 4 workers. So we do this all the time. So is there a motion to accept the bids for these arborist services as I've outlined? Trustee Rosen Asher, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? That passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, I also want to thank Jen. Jen worked on this RFP with me, and I always appreciate when I get a draft of something that I can redline as opposed to starting from scratch. So thank you to Jen for sending me something that we worked on together.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
You can applaud.
Got to give credit where credit's
Action
due.
item number 5 is to declare a 1987 sewer truck as surplus equipment. Obviously, the truck is old, so is there a motion to declare this truck as a surplus equipment? Trustee Rosen Asher, second trustee Galen, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Action item number 6 is to request, let's just go through this. So is there a motion to approve the request of Robert Lee to hold a block party at the 2024 Aquafest on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on 15 Walnut Street? Trustee Galen, second trustee Taylor, all in favor. That approves unanimously. Is there a motion to approve a request from Teresa Singleton to have a block party at Maplewood Avenue on October 27th from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.? Trustee Rosen Asher, second trustee Taylor, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Is there a motion to waive the fees for the use of the Embassy Center for the Rivertown's Repair Cafe event to be held on November 9th, 2024? Trustee Galen, second trustee Rosen Asher. That passes unanimously. Action item number 9, we had an emergency storm drain issue that arose, and we need to award the contract to repair it at Shady Lane. So is there a motion to accept the proposed emergency storm drain repair on Shady Lane from ELQ Industries in the amount of $199,200? Trustee Galen, second. Trustee Patino, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Action item number 10 is to consider a resolution to authorize the village administrator to execute an agreement with culturally responsive environments and discipline. Oh, so this is the implicit bias training that we are doing with the other villages. Last year, we did we did implicit training. This is a little different. It'll be more involved. The dates and the schedule have been published and put out there. I know people have already signed up for it. I've already signed up for one session, and I saw other people have as well. So this is our share of the contract, which we are sharing with the other communities. So is there a motion to authorize the village administrator to execute an agreement with culturally responsive environments and discipline in the amount of, for our share, $2,571.43? Trustee Galen, second trustee Rosen Asher. All in favor? That passes unanimously. Now what, Rob?
Mayor, if I could just add one point from last year, instead of having the full day sessions, they brought it down to half-day sessions, and they gave us more options of, getting everybody to capture as many people as we can. So they heard us, and we got a new consultant, and we've met with them, we've interviewed them, and I think they have a good product coming up.
Is this open to committee members?
I don't recall. I think it is, wasn't it, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay, because the Human Rights and Diversity Committee wants to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and if you haven't signed up, you should sign up for it. It was pretty easy to do. Action item number 11, we're going to table. We're not ready to make a decision on the village-wide security cameras, so we're tabling that. Action item number 12 is to consider a resolution to approve year-end budget transfers and budget amendments. So is there a motion to approve the year-end budget transfer and budget amendments as recommended by the village treasurer? Trustee Taylor, second trustee Patino, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Those transfers are outlined in the packet that we have, and you'll see, Jeff, now that we passed it, can you just tell us?
We do this every year, year-end budget transfers.
Okay, great. Glad we passed it. Action item number 13, which it really is now 12. No, it's 13, even though we
It's
tabled.
tabled.
One, right? Is to consider a resolution authorizing pay adjustments for non-union employees. So in the last budget that we passed, we passed pay raises, annual pay raises for certain employees. And I know it's been 3 months since we passed the budget. We are now implementing these raises. So The raises are outlined in the resolution. They concern raises for the village clerk, Elizabeth Draper, the village treasurer, Jeff Shuda, the assistant to the village administrator, Margaret Parr, and the village justice. And alongside of that, we are also making the budget transfers to accommodate those raises. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So is there a motion to authorize the approved salary adjustments for the aforementioned non-union employees retroactive to June 1st, 2024? Trustee Galen, second trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor? That passes unanimously. Action item number 14 is to consider a resolution approving the audit of claims. So is there a motion to approve the audit of claims for number 2 for September 2024 as outlined in the resolution? Trustee Patino, second trustee Taylor, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Any reports from the various trustees? Go ahead.
The
Trustee.
Human Rights and Diversity Committee is very excited that we have this implicit bias training, and very happy that it's going to be extended to them, so thank you for that. And they will be at Fairy Festa, but they are short-staffed, so we're hoping that we could just put some of their information at our table, because they are going to be giving out information about the restorative justice listening circles. And it's senior week at the senior center, so if you haven't been down there, get yourself down there for all the fun and excitement. I'll be there Friday morning to say hi to everybody. So they've had a lot of fun things going on, and I'm sure Abby would love to see people down there supporting our seniors.
I actually went today, and it was great. We had a
Thank
great
you.
time, and
Did you play bingo or?
I want them to teach me how to play bridge, so
Okay.
maybe someday they'll do that. But it was a great time down there, and I want to say that Andrea Stewart-Cousins was there today, Mary Jane was there today, our assembly person, and our Westchester County Legislator David Memora was there today as well. So it was a
Great.
great event. Trustee Galen, do you have anything?
I just wanted to reemphasize that Fairy Fest is coming up on October 5th, Saturday, with a rain date of Sunday, October 6th. And also the Aquafest, which is being put on by the Friends of the Old Croton Aqueduct, which should be a great kind of festival. It's happening as in the block party outside the Keeper's House at 15 Walnut. They're going to have a lot of activities for kids and music, live music, and a mobile puppet truck, I guess. So it should be a really fantastic event. I hope I'm not forgetting anything else.
Trustee Patino?
The CAB had a successful event this past weekend, and they have a number of other events. There are tree plantings, there are invasive species cleanup, so sign up if you'd like to get your hands dirty on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
Trustee Taylor?
The library continues to run numerous events for all ages and interests. I encourage everybody to check out what's going on at the library.
I would urge everyone to read the village newsletter. That has all the events, upcoming events as well. So I want to thank Margaret and the staff for putting that together. And if there's anything further, we'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there a motion? You sure? You sure you want to make that motion?
Yeah.
Trustee Rosen Asher.
100%.
Second trustee Taylor, all in favor. Meeting is hereby adjourned.